What's up, everybody? RT here in the lab on a bloody Monday. Or is it? Bullish dumping, you say? Possibly. As we've let a little bit of the gas out of the market, a little exhale here, with Bitcoin pulling back as low as $47,500. Really just a tag of the pump chaser zone, which, as you guys know, if you've been watching this channel, is pretty standard stuff. Right after sort of a slow grind up into our fib extension. So the levels are playing pretty clean here. And the thing we're going to want to watch for this week is, as ever, the bearish retest, the short reload zone. That's where the real battle takes place. That's where we can say, okay, put a cork in it, we're taking off, we're going higher, or maybe it's time to roll back down into the pump chaser zone in earnest. God, could we even get down as low as this? Things got ugly? I mean, it's possible, but for now, the bull is still on. Nothing's really changed. There was a lot of writing on the wall here, especially for Ethereum, as this slow grind came entirely on declining volume, bearish divergence, stock breaking down. So the big dump this morning does not really come as a surprise. As we highlighted on our Twitter last night, things were looking a little bit shaky into the Monday open. And if you look here on Bitcoin, this is where the test comes in, back up here in this zone. It's really hard. I mean, if you missed this dip today, I mean, that was it. That was the dip for the low time frame. It was sharp. It was aggressive. Lots of liquidations, billions of dollars of liquidated longs, and apparently some shorts as well getting liquidated in either which direction. Probably people rushing into short here. But as you can see back here in January, we had the same kind of thing, right? A little bit of a local top, big dirty dump. Often you'll get that climb back up, and this is where the real battle takes place and where we're going to get our next bit of information. After a sharp move like that, I would expect to see some consolidation, a slow squeeze back up as the market feels out the space, and then the bears are going to make a battle. They're going to make their stand here. So up in the mid 50s is probably where we're going to see some action later this week. For now, there's a few different dips going on in the market. We're going to talk a little bit more later today about some of the dips that we're looking at in the lab. And I'll give you a hint. It all surrounds this guy named Sam Bankman-Fried. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on. We're going to do a little video highlighting that later on today. For now, let's take a quick look at the dominance, which, as you can see, has just been consolidating down here as Bitcoin made new highs. Typically, that's pretty bullish for altcoins. If Bitcoin dominance stays almost flat while Bitcoin rises, altcoins have been doing well as a result. And ETH BTC is really struggling to make a stand here, although it is coming into a key throwback level down here around 0.032. You know, there's still the big weekly breakout. Nothing's really changed on the high time frames, except for that perhaps this is going a little longer and a little deeper than a lot of people wanted. Just tagging the 618 today. So if the pump chaser zone failed, the reload zone down here is sort of a next opportunity to be looking for it. And, you know, people are already starting to say, well, what if Ethereum was the MySpace of crypto? What if it was the first big popular thing, but now cooler, better, faster things are going to come along? And that's always possible. So, you know, managing risk. I think the network effects on Ethereum are so strong. It's going to be really hard to put a, ETH is dead tag in the market. Now, if you type in liquidations on Twitter, you can get a lot of interesting information here. Larry Cernak earlier pointing out $1.5 billion in liquidations on Binance alone today. So as the market gets more and more levered up, as the bulls start pouring in late, right, public coming in, I'm sure any of you who have been around for a little while have already been getting calls from friends and family saying, you know, oh, okay, I'm going to buy some now. And that's just kind of how markets work. That's why you get bull cycles and bear cycles. And, you know, I've been getting those calls as well. So shout out to my family. If you guys are watching, you're the public. Rah, rah, rah. But anyways, we had a couple nice levels come in. We've tagged a retest. Bitcoin looks satisfied to me. It actually front ran this 382, which is pretty bullish, generally speaking. So if we get a continuation from there, which is where I'm kind of leaning at this moment, then that's going to be quite bullish indeed. Pretty fascinating to see these levels come and hit so strong. But again, this is our next key area to watch. So as you can see, I've set some alerts up here. I'll probably set a few more this week. I'll be keeping an eye on the mid to high 50s and reading a little bit more about all these crazy liquidations. $25 million in DeFi loans were liquidated, and ETH prices skyrocketing. And that's something that we talked about on stream last week, and something, you know, last night I saw some of the writing on the wall here, hit some big levels, kind of, you know, a lot of profitable positions. But I was sitting in a lot of altcoins. So I had to clean up shop. And I actually just nuked most of my Uniswap positions because of this, right? Because if we roll over, if we get a big dump, it's going to be a rush to the exit. And in an environment like Ethereum with those fees, I just thought, I don't want to pay $100, $200 per transaction just to sell into a dump. Not very attractive. So thankfully, with some of this handy TA, with some of these signals coming in early last night, we had the kind of the first dump on Sunday and then a little squeeze back up. And I thought, you know what? I'm good right here. This is a level for a whole bunch of reasons, and dodging these fees today. So we'll see how these fees shake out. I'm sure there's still a lot of sort of back-end liquidations taking place, people shuffling for positions, looking for dips, looking to panic sell probably at this point still, and maybe reassessing their overall risk. And unfortunately, a lot of people probably got pretty wrecked today trying to mess around with leverage. You always hear things like, careful with leverage, don't trade leverage, it's for pros. And this is why, because it is so easy to lever up into this, but often is the case, it's these throwback levels, these dips. And if you zoom in on these, you can even see that there's like little reload zones coming in. But how many of us were sitting there with longs positioned right here? I know a lot of top traders that were. That's typically where I would plant my stink bids. But in this case, I was mostly just de-risking up here. And today I'm buying some dips. So we'll tell you a little later today what sort of dips I'm buying. I don't know that they're running anywhere in a hurry. There's probably going to be some consolidation after that. But again, all over the Sam Bankman-Fried indexes. And that should get a little hint for you as we come up later in the day. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. And if you do anything today, whatever you do, make sure you always play from strength. We'll talk soon. Cheers.